So these last few days I've had the fresh new OnePlus Buds Pro 3 stuffed inside of my head orifices. My ears, that is not my nose, obviously. I might be from Sunderland, but I'm not that dense. And gotta say, rather enjoying the experience as well. So here's my full OnePlus Buds Pro 3 review. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! I mean, would they even fit? Oh yeah, they fit. Now the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 comes stashed inside of a rather unique looking case. It's not that glossy, cheap looking plastic that you get with most true wireless earbuds. Instead, you've got this lovely soft touch fake leathery finish on both the front and the back end. And a matte strip separating them as well, so it's pleasingly fingerprint and grease proof. Certainly great news if it's late Friday night, you're staggering away from the kebab van and you're yanking these things out of your pocket. You won't wake up the following morning to discover a nasty, smeary mess. And likewise, this textured design really helps with the grip as well, so not once have I stumbled semi-twatted out of my local boozer, yanked these things out of my pocket, only to watch bleary-eyed as they go flying out of my grasp, straight under the wheels of a passing night bus. In fact, it kind of feels like the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 were made with me in mind. OnePlus Buds Pro 3, best true wireless earbuds for pissheads. You can stick that on the poster, chaps. And they come in a choice of two colours, either Midnight Opus or Lunar Radiance. It's basically a Ponzi way of saying white or black, and no matter your choice, the case will match the actual buds themselves. It is a proper shame that there's no bright, bold colour offerings just yet. I believe the old Buds Pro came in green, which was a rather lovely hue, but hopefully they'll release different versions soon. As usual, it's a pretty comfortable fit as well. You've got several different sizes of soft silicone tip bunged in the box. You can find the size that fits your lugs best. I found I could wear them for a good sort of 3-4 hours before I was starting to get a bit of ear fatigue. And as usual, a firm fit as well, so I wasn't worried about them flying out of my head, even if I was jogging, which does occasionally happen, like at last orders. And just to prove how good they are lodged in there, mosh test! Oh, and like the previous Buds Pro, these bad boys are once again IP55 sweat and water and dust resistant. So don't fully submerge them in water, that'll probably f them up, but they're absolutely fine to get dribbled on a bit. Now you've got Bluetooth 5.4 support, easy pairing with Android devices, and as usual, dual connection support, so you can pair up with a couple of devices at once, like your smartphone and your laptop. And if you don't have a OnePlus blower, well, no worries, you'll find all the functionality you need in the HeyMelody app, which you can grab from the Google Play Store. So you can check on the remaining battery life of your buds, play around with the likes of the active noise cancellation, various sound presets, turn on the gaming mode for minimal lag, and of course do an earbud fit test just to prove you've got the right bits of silicone bunged in your head. And oh yes, a good bit of Find My Earbuds support as well, so you can just play a tone if you happen to lose your buds down the back of the sofa or inside the cat or something. It's pretty loud, so it does the job. Now, somewhat strangely, the touch controls here on the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 aren't actually customizable via that HeyMelody app, at least not at the time that I shot this review, but thankfully the setup's pretty respectable, not too far off what I would have chosen myself. So a single squeeze of either stem will pause your music and then it will also resume. I did find on one occasion I couldn't actually get the music to resume no matter how many times I squeezed that stem. I had to keep doing it from my phone, but thankfully that just seems to have been a minor bug that's buggered right off now for some reason. Can't tell if it's the buds or the phone that I'm testing, could have been either. But anyway, all good now, phew. A double squeeze will skip you forward a track, and a triple squeeze will skip you back a track. You do have full audio feedback as well, so you know when your squeezes are being recognized. And this is the one change I would have made. I would have had it so a double squeeze of the right one skips you forward and a double squeeze of the left one sends you back again, but never mind, whatever. You could also squeeze either bud for roughly a second in order to cycle through the different noise cancellation modes. So turn on ANC or switch to good old transparency so you can hear what's going on. And OnePlus has once again proven that it actually listens to feedback, because the Buds Pro 3 do actually have volume controls now. Just slide a finger up or down either stem in order to raise or lower the volume. Huzzah! Now, as with the previous generation, you've got an 11mm woofer as well as a separate 6mm tweeter packed into each of these buds. but these have apparently been redesigned to further improve the audio clarity. So apparently those woofers have a fresh new diaphragm made of a ceramic metal composite, as well as an extra magnet bunged in there just to beef them up a bit. You've also now got a pair of DACs, the digital to analog converters, stuffed into each bud, one for the woofer, one for the tweeter. All a load of techie bollocks, of course, but I'll talk about the audio quality in a second. As well as the impressive hardware, OnePlus has also enlisted those marvelous boffins at Dyn Audio to come along and fine-tune and tweak the audio output. And I gotta say, comparing the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 to the old OnePlus Buds Pro 2, I don't notice a huge difference. I think the clarity on the old ones are excellent. You can really pick up those fine details across the full range, so really good for all kinds of different tracks. Been listening to a lot of metal, a little bit of techno, some rave stuff, and also some instrumentals and some acoustic stuff, and it all sounds bloody marvellous. Proper full-bodied, you don't feel like you're missing out on much, compared with, a really expensive pair of cans. Back in the good old HeyMelody app, you can give Soundmaster EQ a poke, and you've got a variety of different audio presets here, including serenades, bass, etc, etc. I've got to admit, when I was listening to a variety of tracks, I noticed only the subtlest of differences between these presets. You can, if you want, call up your own equalizer and have a bit of a tweak of that, but far better than this is the golden sound feature. Now, this was previously found on the old OnePlus Buds Pro 2 as well. And this can basically customize the audio to your own ear canal structure and how buggered your hearing is. In my case, very. All you got to do is just play around with the slider as various tones are played until you can't hear the tone anymore. And this allows the earbuds to then boost up the lows, the mids, the highs, whichever bits you're really struggling to hear. And with this enabled, I really did notice an improvement in the audio quality. I could hear a lot more of those finer details, especially around the mid to high range. So highly recommend jumping on board with that. Literally only takes a couple of minutes to complete. And the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 also support the spatial audio tech, same as before. Well, not quite same as before, because now it's Google spatial audio tech, which I'm not really particularly bothered about. But if you want it, it's there. And OnePlus has also boosted the noise cancelling smarts here with proper adaptive ANC, which can smother out any background bollockry, including the whiny persistent complaints of your offspring. Now, because it's adaptive ANC, it will scale up or down in order to suit whatever environment you're in. So when you're in a nice quiet studio like this, it'll drop down to sort of minimal levels just to help preserve battery life, although you can clearly tell that it's still active. And when you are on a tube or a train or some other noisy thing like that, well, great news, that ANC is pretty bloody good. It does drown out the worst of all that rumbly, nasty screechiness. You can enjoy your own private, personal little peace bubble. Not quite as good as the best ANC out there, but certainly more than good enough for, a bit of commuting or whatever. Now, the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 sports yet another triple mic setup, plus a voice pickup bone sensor, ooh la-di-da. So the Buds Pro 3 know when you're talking and can boost your vocals accordingly. So this mic test is being recorded on my MacBook using my Buds Pro 3. It's quite quiet in here though, so not much of a test. So let me just simulate a whole load of background shenanigans. So here we go. Now I've got some incredibly loud road noises blaring out of a speaker right by my head. Lots of honking and general aggressiveness. And as you can hear, my vocals are still coming through pretty loud and strong. And now I'm recording this part of the test with some other vocals going on in the background just to show how the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 can differentiate between you chatting and somebody else chatting. And as you can hear, again, my vocals coming through nice and loud and clear. Cracking stuff. But what about the battery life? Well, if you max these things out, so you've got the active noise cancellation or adaptive noise cancellation switched on, as well as a good bit of LHDC streaming. Well, found the battery life was about 4.5 hours on average. It's not particularly fantastic. There are many true wireless earbuds out there that will do better than that. But if you switch off the likes of the ANC, you do almost double that performance, which is pretty damn good. And the good news is, if you are running low on juice, well, no worries, you'll get the wee warning in your ear. Just pluck out the OnePlus Buds Pro 3, stick them back in that snazzy, jazzy case. Just leave them in there for 10 minutes, and then when you whip them back out again, you'll get 3 full hours of use again, and that's with ANC turned on and everything. So it's actually pretty bloody good for those long ass journeys, as long as you don't mind taking the occasional break, which is probably good because you'll start to get the old achy ear syndrome after about 4 hours anyway. You seem to get about 4 full recharges of those buds from the case before it itself also needs juicing up, which you can do via Type-C USB. Takes roughly an hour or so. Otherwise, you can also power it up wirelessly if you just want to slap it on the back of your phone, assuming that you've got a bit of reverse wireless charging on there. And there you have it, my lovelies. That, in a tasty wee nutshell, is the fresh new OnePlus Buds Pro 3. Don't have the UK pricing just yet, as I'm shooting this review ahead of the official launch, but they'll probably come in at just under 200 quid, just like the previous pair. And for that sort of price, I mean, these are premium through and through. They've got some pretty solid ANC action. The audio quality is fantastic. I love the design of the case. The actual buds themselves, I think they look really snazzy. One of the qualms would be the battery life with the ANC switched on isn't as good as some of its closer rivals, but that's pretty much it. Proper, ruddy good, especially, as I say, if you're a pisshead. Get that on the poster, seriously. So that's what I reckon. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And more importantly, have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.